Bears training camp is officially 1 week in the books, and today was the seventh practice overall. This offense continues getting better every single day. Today, Caleb Williams and the starters continued stacking another good practice and have begun building momentum. Today's practice was much more light paced than the last 2 days. After having two very intense padded practices, today was a much lighter speed and did not involve any live tackling or big hits. Big shout outs to my guys Plank and Walt from the Bear Review who were in the house at camp today. I'm going to break down everything you need to know from today's practice. Let's go ahead and get right into it. The three biggest topics from today's practice were that the offense continues getting better, Ozzy Trapilo is still leading the way at left tackle, and we have an open competition for the cornerback 2 job. Interesting developments early on in camp. This offense started off slow last week, and the defense was clearly ahead of them. But once pads came on, things shifted towards the offensive side of the ball. They've now put together 3 straight practices where Caleb has operated the offense more efficiently and gotten the ball out of his hands quicker. Every one of our playmakers have had their moments and made big plays. Caleb Williams is spreading the ball around, and the offense has looked more crisp and more explosive over the last 3 days. Although there still have been some procedural issues and a couple of pre-snap penalties like false starts, but it has been a lot more efficient than what we saw the first few days of camp. We are already seeing noticeable improvement, and Ben Johnson is not letting little things slide, and fans can actually notice it. Luther Burden was the player of the day today. He had the highlight reel play of the day. With a big TD catch in the back of the end zone, he went up and made a highlight style of catch. He also had another TD catch early in practice on a slant route where he got a ton of separation from Kyler Gordon. He made a couple of big plays, and it was by far Luther's best practice of camp. Good to see from the rookie wideout, and fans seem to love it anytime he touched the ball. Elsewhere on offense, DJ Moore was involved early and often, and there were also plays made by DeAndre Swift, Rome Odunze, Cole Kmet, and Olamide Zaccheaus. There was also a QB keeper where Caleb ran for a touchdown on a read option play, and Colston Loveland was out there making the lead block that set up an easy touchdown run for our QB1. Great play by Colston Loveland. Caleb would also speak to the media today, and he was very positive about the future and how excited he is to work with Ben Johnson. He seems mature and aware of the expectations placed on this team and how much weight is on his shoulders. You can really hear how much Caleb wants to win. And I spoke briefly about how Ben Johnson hasn't been letting things slide. And another positive development early in this practice, we saw Caleb Williams and Drew Dahlman coming out before the rest of the team and working on those center QB exchanges. They're trying to get those down, and they were taking snaps under center and got in some early work. Great to see our QB1 trying to get ahead of this issue and make sure it gets ironed out before we get to preseason action. Little things like this go a long way. It's all about the details. Meanwhile, Luke Newman, our rookie 6th-round pick, was on the field even earlier today, getting in some snaps at the center position. My man from the Bear Review snapped a video here. Newman, I believe, is in competition to be our backup center, but he has to get used to this position and earn the job. He was a guard at Michigan State, but it's good to see him putting in some work and getting reps at center. Speaking of backups at center, Doug Kramer was also on the field getting in some early work. At this point, with the additions to the O-line, Kramer's battling for a roster spot, and he is in competition with Luke Newman and others. And now it's time for our daily left tackle update. It was again rookie Ozzy Trapilo getting the first reps with the starters on the left side. That marks the 3rd straight practice and 4 of the last 5 where Ozzy has opened the day with the first team unit. I still believe all 3 guys will continue competing for the next few weeks. I think Ozzy clearly has an early lead, and he has to be considered the favorite after the first week of camp. Braxton is doing team drills right now, but he seems slightly behind the rookie. I think Karan Amagaji's looked really good in the reps he's gotten. We can't rule him out yet. But a couple more tidbits about the offensive line. Ozzy Trapilo has been seen walking out to practice and spending extra time around all pro left guard Joe Tooney. I continue to be impressed by the Boston College rookie. He seems to just get it. Having Joe Tooney on this team is a blessing, and a guy like Ozzy can learn so much from a future Hall of Famer. It's really simple stuff and it makes too much sense, but honestly, you don't see it enough in the NFL. I don't know if it's ego or what, but a lot of times these young guys come into the league and they just want to prove themselves. Ozzy is a sponge and he's trying to soak in knowledge from the O line coach Dan Ruchar, Ben Johnson, and guys like Joe Tooney. I believe Ozzy has the potential to be a star in this league sooner or later. Now let's talk about the defense. Dennis Allen said this defense is locked in and they've improved a lot since OTAs. He also talked about one of the most unique aspects of his defense and how he calls plays. He uses a lot of dime personnel over nickel, especially in third and long situations. Basically, he uses an extra defensive back over a second linebacker. He usually has a couple of versatile DBs on his roster, guys that he can move around that allow him to put players in the best position to succeed. In New Orleans, he did this a lot with Tyrann Matthews and Marcus Williams. Here in Chicago, the plan is to do that with both Jaquan Brisker and Kyler Gordon. They've been learning various roles on this defense, and both are playing all over the secondary as Dennis Allen looks to unlock the potential of two of the best young players on this defense, something I'm really excited to see in action. But the biggest news from Dennis Allen is that there is a real competition for our cornerback 2 job. Many have just assumed that Tyrique Stevenson would easily win this one, but Dennis Allen confirmed there is a real battle and an open competition to be the starting corner opposite of Jalen Johnson. Even with JJ missing camp, his job is still safe. But right now, it's Nashawn Wright who's been getting just as many reps with the first team as Tyrique Stevenson has. But on top of that, both Josh Blackwell and Terrell Smith are also starting to get more looks. Terrell Smith, meanwhile, had some great reps in the padded practice, and he got some more looks today as well. I think right now it's pretty much a three-way battle. Tyrique Stevenson is battling both Nashawn Wright and Terrell Smith for that cornerback 2 job. Dennis Allen singled out Nashawn Wright as a guy who's really impressed him. He's been running with the first team all camp, and his chances of making this roster seem pretty locked up. He's battling for a starting job right now. A couple of final tidbits here. It was Case Keenum getting reps with the second string today, and Tyson Bagent was running with the third team. Something to watch going forward. I still expect Tyson to be our QB2. And then we have a punt returner update as well. Today saw Luther Burden, Romo Dunze, JP Richardson, and Josh Blackwell all getting chances to return punts. Luther and Rome being back there would be really exciting, but I actually think JP Richardson is the sleeper to win that job. And that's it, guys. Officially, 1 week of training camp is in the books. Our offense is starting to put together some good practices, and we are less than 10 days away from having our first joint practice with the Miami Dolphins. The Hall of Fame game is tomorrow night, guys. Football is finally back. Let me know in the comments how you're feeling. Please remember to hit that like button for me. Stay tuned, and until next time, bear down.